Let me ask you a brutal question. If saving money was enough to build wealth, why are millions of hardworking people still financially stuck? Why do teachers, employees, and even small business owners struggle, despite doing everything right? The uncomfortable truth is this. Most people never fail financially because they lack money. They fail because they lack a foundation. And today, as your financial teacher, I'm going to show you how to build that foundation from absolute zero. I've spent decades teaching investment principles, studying market behavior, and mentoring people from different economic backgrounds. And I can tell you this with certainty. Wealth is not built by luck, inheritance, or talent. It is built by structure. A strong financial foundation has three invisible pillars. 2. Financial mindset. 2. Cash flow control. 3. Capital discipline. Most people rush straight into investing without mastering these basics. That's like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. It might look impressive at first, but it will eventually collapse. Let's start with the most ignored pillar, how you think about money. Money is not just currency. Money is stored energy. It represents time, effort, and decision-making quality. If your mindset treats money as something to spend, impress, or escape with, it will disappear. If your mindset treats money as a tool to build systems, it will multiply. Here's a simple example. Two people earn the same income. One asks, "What can I buy?" The other asks, "What can this money build?" 10 years later, their lives look nothing alike. Before we talk about investing stocks or businesses, you must accept this principle. You don't invest money first. You invest discipline first. In the next part, I will show you how to take full control of your cash flow, even if your income is small, because wealth does not start with how much you earn, but with how much you control. Before you dream about investing, let me teach you a lesson every serious investor learns early. Money you don't control can never make you rich. As a finance teacher, I often see people obsessed with increasing income, yet completely blind to where their money actually goes. They work harder, earn more, but remain financially fragile. Why? Because cash flow leaks quietly. Cash flow is not about how much you earn. It is about direction. Imagine trying to fill a bucket full of holes. No matter how fast you pour water, it never fills. That bucket is your financial life without cash flow control. The first rule of a strong financial foundation is simple but powerful. Pay attention to every dollar before you try to multiply it. You must divide your income into 3 clear purposes. 1. Living expenses. 2. Protection. 3. Capital building. Most people only focus on the first category, survival. Rent, food, transportation, lifestyle. That's necessary but dangerous if it becomes your entire financial universe. The second category, protection, is what keeps your foundation from collapsing. Emergency funds, basic insurance, cash reserves. Without protection, one unexpected event can erase years of progress. Wealthy people don't avoid risks, they prepare for them. The third category is where transformation begins, capital building. This is money with a job. Money assigned to grow, not to be consumed. Here is a mindset shift I teach my students. Before you spend money, ask yourself, is this expense feeding my future or only my comfort? Let me give you a realistic scenario. You receive your income. Instead of spending first and saving what's left, you reverse the order. You allocate capital first, even if it's small. 10%, 5%, even 1% matters. The habit is more important than the amount. Why? Because capital is not built by motivation. Capital is built by consistency. Once your cash flow is organized, something powerful happens. Anxiety decreases. Decisions become clearer. You stop reacting to money problems and start directing money outcomes. In the next part, I will teach you how to increase income intelligently, not by working endlessly, but by leveraging skills, value, and opportunity the way real investors do. Now that your cash flow is under control, the next question is inevitable. How do you increase income without destroying your time and health? As a finance educator, I want to be very clear. Working harder is not a long-term strategy. Working smarter is. Most people believe income grows only by adding hours. Investors know income grows by adding value. There are 3 primary sources of income growth. 1. Time-based income. 2. Skill-based income. 3. Asset-based income. Most people remain trapped in the first category. They sell time. When time stops, income stops. This is not a moral failure. It's a structural limitation. Your mission at this stage is to move towards skill-based income. Skills are financial leverage. They allow 1 hour of effort to produce more value than before. Ask yourself this powerful question. If I lost all my money today, what skill could rebuild my income? That answer reveals your true financial security. Skill-based income can take many forms: analysis, communication, problem-solving, sales, technical expertise, teaching, or creative production. The specific skill matters less than its ability to solve problems that others are willing to pay for. Here is a principle I teach my students. Income grows in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems you can solve. Easy problems pay little. Hard problems pay generously. Let's make this practical. Instead of chasing random side hustles, focus on one high-value skill. Study it deliberately. Practice it daily. Apply it in real situations. Within months, not years, income begins to respond. This is also where patience separates amateurs from professionals. Many quit too early because results don't appear immediately. But income growth is like compound interest. It starts slowly, then accelerates. Once skill-based income is established, you unlock the final transition, turning income into assets. In the next part, I will teach you the difference between saving and capital accumulation, and why saving alone will never build financial freedom, no matter how disciplined you are. Saving money is often praised as a virtue, and as a financial teacher, let me be clear. Saving is necessary, but it is not sufficient. Saving protects you. Capital builds you. Most people confuse the two, and that confusion keeps them financially stagnant for decades. Savings exist to provide safety. They help you survive uncertainty, emergencies, and short-term disruptions. Capital, on the other hand, exists to create growth. Takes calculated risk, patience, and direction. Here is the harsh truth I teach in my classes. Money that never leaves your comfort zone will never change your life. Inflation quietly punishes savers. While your money sits still, the cost of living moves forward. Over time, purchasing power erodes, and what once felt secure becomes fragile. Let me give you a simple example. If you save consistently but never invest, you are running on a treadmill. You're moving but not advancing. Capital accumulation requires forward motion. This does not mean reckless investing. It means intentional deployment of money. There are 3 stages of money behavior. 2, spending for survival. 2, saving for security. 3, investing for freedom. Many people stop at stage 2 and wonder why financial independence feels impossible. As an investor, I do not ask, how safe is this money? I ask, what is the calculated return for the risk I'm taking? That mindset shift changes everything. Capital is money assigned to systems. Businesses, markets, productive assets. It works even when you are not. Comfort money waits for permission. Capital money demands purpose. However, capital without knowledge is dangerous. This is why foundation matters. Before investing, you must understand risk, time horizon, and emotional discipline. Without these, even good opportunities become costly mistakes. In the next part, I will introduce you to the fundamental investment principle that separates professionals from gamblers: risk management and time advantage. Most beginners believe investing is about picking the right asset. As a finance teacher, I must correct that misunderstanding immediately. Investing is not about prediction. It is about preparation. Professionals don't try to eliminate risk. They manage it. Risk is not your enemy. Ignorance is. There are 2 tools every successful investor relies on. 1, risk control. 2, time advantage. Let's start with risk. Risk does not mean danger. Risk means uncertainty. Every investment carries uncertainty, but not every investment carries the same consequences. The key question is not, can I lose money? The question is, how much can I lose without destroying my foundation? This is why position sizing matters. Smart investors never place all their capital into a single idea. Diversification is not about fear. It is about survival. Here is a rule I teach my students. Never risk money you cannot afford to leave untouched for years. Now let's talk about time, the most underestimated asset in finance. Time does 2 powerful things. It absorbs volatility. It amplifies compounding. Short-term fluctuations scare emotional investors. Long-term investors see opportunity. The market rewards patience, not intelligence. Consider this principle. Time in the market beats timing the market. Those who wait for the perfect moment often miss the entire cycle. Those who stay invested, learn continuously, and adjust carefully tend to win. But time only works in your favor if you stay disciplined. Panic turns time into an enemy. Discipline turns it into a weapon. As an investor and educator, I emphasize this constantly. Your greatest advantage is not information, it is emotional control. In the next part, I will show you how to choose investments that match your foundation, so your strategy aligns with your income, risk tolerance, and long-term goals. One of the most common mistakes beginners make is copying other people's investments. As a finance teacher, I warn against this habit strongly. An investment is only good if it fits your financial foundation. There is no universal best investment. There is only appropriate investment. Before choosing any investment vehicle, you must answer 3 questions. 1. How stable is my income? 2. How long can my money stay invested? 3. How much volatility can I emotionally tolerate? Your answers determine your strategy. Let's simplify the main categories of investment vehicles. First, growth-oriented assets. These include stocks, equity funds, and businesses. They offer higher long-term returns but fluctuate in the short term. These are ideal for capital that can remain untouched for years. Second, income-oriented assets. These generate regular cash flow, such as dividends, rental income, or interest-based instruments. They support financial stability but often grow slower. Third, defensive assets. Cash reserves, low-risk instruments, and hedging assets protect your downside. They don't make you rich, but they keep you alive financially. A strong foundation uses all 3 in proper proportion. Here is a principle I teach. Your investments should reflect your life stage, not your ambition. Young foundations prioritize growth, but your foundations prioritize balance. Advanced foundations prioritize preservation and income. Another critical rule. Complexity is not sophistication. Many people are attracted to complicated strategies because they feel intelligent. In reality, simplicity combined with consistency beats complexity over time. You do not need to understand every market. You need to understand your own behavior. In the next part, we will discuss one of the most powerful forces in finance, compounding, and why starting small and early beats starting big and late. If there is one concept I insist every student fully understands, it is this. Compounding is not a bonus. It is the engine of wealth. Compounding works when returns generate returns. It is slow, quiet, and unimpressive at the beginning, but over time, becomes unstoppable. Most people misunderstand compounding because they underestimate time. They want visible results quickly, and when progress seems small, they quit. As a finance teacher, I see this mistake repeatedly. Here is the truth. Wealth grows exponentially, but patience grows linearly. This mismatch is why many fail. Let me illustrate with a simple idea. An investor who starts early with small, consistent contributions often outperforms someone who starts late with large sums. Why? Because time magnifies discipline. Compounding rewards 3 behaviors. 1. Consistency. 2. Reinvestment. 3. Emotional stability. Break any one of these and compounding weakens. Reinvestment is especially critical. Profits that are withdrawn too early lose their multiplying power. Every dollar removed is a worker fired from your financial system. This is why professional investors focus less on short-term profits and more on process. They understand that predictable systems beat unpredictable wins. Another lesson I teach is this. The first years of compounding are built, not enjoyed. It often feels boring, uneventful, but beneath the surface, momentum is forming. When compounding reaches maturity, progress becomes visible and results accelerate. At that point, discipline feels effortless, but it only exists because discipline was practiced when it felt pointless. In the next part, we will discuss how to protect this momentum by avoiding the most common behavioral mistakes that destroy financial foundations. After years of teaching finance, I've reached one clear conclusion. Most financial mistakes are emotional, not technical. People don't lose money because they don't know what to do. They lose money because they do the wrong thing at the wrong time, Let's address the most dangerous behavioral traps. The first trap is impatience. Many investors abandon their plan because progress feels slow. They forget that financial foundations are not built for excitement, they are built for durability. Impatience turns long-term strategies into short-term disasters. The second trap is fear-driven decisions. Fear causes people to sell during downturns and avoid opportunities during uncertainty. As a teacher, I remind my students, fear is a signal, not an instruction. Reacting emotionally converts temporary losses into permanent ones. The third trap is overconfidence. A few early successes convince people they are exceptional. They increase risk without increasing discipline. Overconfidence often appears right before major losses. Here is a principle worth remembering. The market humbles everyone eventually. Preparation determines who survives. Another silent enemy is lifestyle inflation. As income increases, expenses quietly rise to match it. Without awareness, progress disappears despite higher earnings. Foundations crack under invisible pressure. Finally, there is comparison. Watching others appear more successful creates anxiety and reckless decisions. You begin chasing outcomes instead of following strategy. Your financial journey is not a competition. It is a construction project. As an investor, your responsibility is not to outperform others. It is to protect and grow your own system. In the next part, I will show you how to build a long-term financial system that runs even when motivation fades. One of the biggest myths in personal finance is that success requires constant motivation. As a finance teacher, I can tell you this confidently. Motivation fades, systems remain. A strong financial foundation is not built on willpower. It is built on automation and structure. The goal is simple. Remove emotion from repetitive financial decisions. Start by automating your priorities. Income arrives, and before you can touch it, money is assigned to its roles: expenses, protection, and capital. This creates consistency without daily effort. Systems outperform intentions. Another powerful concept is default behavior. If your default action is spending, you will consume wealth. If your default action is investing, wealth accumulates quietly. Automation turns good intentions into unavoidable outcomes. But systems are not only mechanical, they are also strategic. Your system must include regular capital contributions, periodic reviews, risk rebalancing over time. This ensures alignment with life changes without constant reaction. I teach my students that reviewing is different from reacting. Reviewing is calm, scheduled, and rational. Reacting is emotional and costly. A well-designed system gives you peace of mind. It allows you to focus on learning, living, and growing income, while your financial foundation quietly strengthens. Most people fail not because they choose the wrong investments, but because they never build a system to support their choices. As we reach the end of this journey, let me leave you with one final lesson I teach all my students. Progress must be measured but never worshipped. Many people become obsessed with numbers. Net worth, returns, rankings. While measurement is necessary, obsession is dangerous. It creates anxiety, impatience, and reckless decisions. A strong financial foundation grows quietly. Instead of tracking progress daily, focus on meaningful indicators. Is your capital growing consistently? Is your financial stress decreasing? Are your decisions becoming calmer and more intentional? These signals matter more than short-term performance. Remember this principle. Financial success is not about speed. It is about direction. You don't need to move fast. You need to move correctly. From the very beginning, I emphasize that wealth is built from structure, not luck. You learned how mindset shapes outcomes, how cash flow creates control, how skills increase income, and how capital, when managed with discipline, time, and emotional stability, builds freedom. As a finance teacher, I want you to understand this deeply. Money is not the goal. Autonomy is the goal. Money is simply the tool. A strong financial foundation gives you options. The option to say no, the option to wait, the option to invest patiently instead of acting out of fear. And perhaps most importantly, it allows you to think long-term, not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. True wealth is not what you consume. It is what you preserve, multiply, and pass on. If you build your foundation correctly, wealth becomes a natural byproduct of discipline, not a desperate chase. So move forward calmly, stay consistent, Trust the process you've built. And remember, financial freedom is not a moment. It is a system you maintain for life.